started. Hey guys, thanks so much for coming back to yet another episode of The Mind of Reese. This is episode 10. I gotta tell you, I'm so proud of myself in this moment just because of the fact that I have, been in integrity with my word. And of course, you guys know how much I really try to be obviously like a woman of my word. And so being at episode 10, and I remember when I first started, I was so nervous and so scared of what I wanted to talk about and what I wanted to basically, share with the world and share my point of view. And I was really nervous about that. And I think that there was a lot of, it felt like, like I was having, like I was comparing myself to people that were better at this than me, or, other podcasts that they just really knew what they were talking about. But what's so funny, and this is actually what I'm actually going to talk about today, is that when I finally had decided to just do it and just go for it, I had to literally shift my own identity. I had to embody the person that believes that she is the authority of speaking about mindset development. And I have many experiences, and I have years of experience with spirituality and mindset development and mindset empowerment rather, that, I should have been okay with talking about it, but I wasn't. And in order for me to get to be okay, I had to shift my identity. And this past week, I have been hearing a lot about identity shifts, and a lot of my mentors and a lot of my favorite people that I listen to via podcasts were talking about identity shifts. And I think it's because, in the new year, a lot of us constantly have like these New Year's resolutions, and we always we have these resolutions that are so outcome driven, and we're like, I'm going to lose the 20 pounds. I'm going to be a better artist. I'm going to, start the new business I want, and those are all outcome driven, your outcome driven processes. So those don't tend to stick. Obviously you get, you go to the gym in January and there's a shit ton of people there, and then all of a sudden by February it kind of like drops off the face of the earth, and then it goes back to the people that are really committed. And so it's kind of like that. It's like dieting. You go on a diet for, I'm going to start this diet today, and then you last maybe a week or a month, and then it kind of just drops off. It's because we are only we have to look at the long-term behavior. So the way that we shift our identity is to embody the person that we believe is already there. So with me, I had to basically just believe that, at the end of the day, I knew what I was talking about, and that I trusted that whatever had come out of my brain and out of my mouth was something that I definitely wanted to say and that people would want to listen to. And for me, it was really tough because, when you're going into something obviously in the unknown, and what I speak about all the time is getting uncomfortable and getting outside your comfort zone, you tend to feel like you're wading in the deep, you're like wading as in like swimming in the deep end of the ocean, and you're not sure which way to go, which way is land, but then you just start swimming, it's like you can't just sit there, you got to start swimming somewhere. And so when I took this leap and I told myself, I'm going to do this, I'm going to be, I'm going to create this podcast, and I created a really, really good reason why I wanted to, was that I wanted to help people. So there's always that you need a reason, you need a purpose for everything that you do, because if it's just like, I'm going to diet, I'm going to do this, the idea doesn't stick. So you have to find your purpose, find the purpose as to why you want to do it. And then really, really start believing, who is that kind of person that would get that shit done? Who is that athletic person that, goes to the gym every day? Who is that person that wants to become a writer and writes every day? So it's one of those things like, I'm reading my notes right now. It's like the basic idea is that the beliefs you have about yourself can drive your long-term behavior. So I know last week I was talking about affirmations and basically training your subconscious mind to believe in the words that are coming out of your mouth. And that essentially is one tool that we use to create a new identity. Because you guys, it doesn't have to be hard. Like what I heard this great saying the other day. It says that change and transformation does not come from a complexity. It doesn't have to be some complex thing that we have to do, and we have to do some crazy, dance around a fire that's going to somehow morph us into this new being that we want to be. No, it's literally just saying I'm going to do this and taking the actionable steps of embodying the person that has already done it. So we have so many resources out there. It's like, I want to be a millionaire. Well, let me go and look at and follow all these people that are millionaires and find out their story, embody their behaviors and their habits, embody those kinds of things. And then all of a sudden I start thinking differently. I start changing my habits. I'm aware of all my actions, the way I think. So I recently have been getting a lot of really, really positive feedback, especially on my Instagram, where I post the most about all the information that I've been giving to tattoo artists or new up and coming tattoo artists, with ways to basically up-level their Instagram. And I have been getting a lot of questions on how do I get better at my art? How do I, get better at my tattoos? And that's not something that I necessarily teach. I like to teach, basically, how to brand your Instagram into your unique point of view and be able to make impact in the people that get to see that and the people that you attract. But to address this question that I had been receiving, you guys, it's all about what you believe in yourself. Now, if you believe that you are, it's like, I want to be a better artist. So that's the outcome. So what are the processes to get there? Okay, I got to draw more. So it's like, so who's the person that is the better artist? Who is the person that you look up to and is like, I want to be like that? How do you think that person got there? With practice. So there's a process right there. With belief. They believed that they could get better and they chose the actionable steps to get better. You guys, it's not rocket science. In order for you to change anything in your life, it doesn't have to be, I speak about art obviously because I am speaking to artists. I know that there are a lot of artists that listen to my podcast and a lot of tattoo artists that listen to my podcast. So you guys, it's all about your habits and your beliefs. It's all about your beliefs that create the habits. It's hard to make anything stick with a long-term change. So if you don't shift your underlying identity, which is the core belief of you, what you believe inside of yourself, you need to change that. You need to remember that that's the biggest part to shift in order for you to get to where you want to go. Period. Because at this point right now, the way we got here is all of the conditioning that we've had in our life, all of the experiences that we've had in our life, and all the things that we've chosen to believe about ourselves. And so now I am the person I am today because I went through a series of steps, a series of experiences, and I have this belief surrounding what and who I am right now. And obviously, whatever I believe in that, I take steps in the direction of that person, of me, at that belief. But I change constantly, you guys. I mean, you guys, this is episode 10 of my podcast. I had to shift my identity, 10 weeks ago in order for me to really show up to this podcast and really, really believe that I am the kind of person that can talk about this kind of stuff. A lot of people are not very receiving of mindset shifts and spirituality and that kind of thing. And so, for me personally, it took a lot for me to actually start talking about it out loud. And it was always just for me. It was always just in me. But I realized after, surrounding myself with like-minded people. And that's another thing, guys. Let me segue into that. You have to surround yourself with people that identify with the person that you want to be. I'm going to tell you right now that if you're trying to get out of your 9-to-5 job and become an entrepreneur, stop hanging out with people that only talk about getting out of their 9-to-5 job. Start surrounding yourself with resources and references that are out of the 9-to-5 job, that have gotten themselves out of the 9-to-5 job, that now work for themselves, that now are super entrepreneurs. Guys, like if you're an artist and you just hang around other people that are, and this doesn't happen, I don't know if this happens to you, but I have heard some serious stories from apprentices, tattoo apprentices, where the shop doesn't uplift them, or they're all just stagnant and happy with where they're at. And if you don't want to be there, you want to be something more, and you want to be like a Nico Hurtado or, another great tattoo artist that you look up to, do you think that those people kept surrounding themselves with people that were like, fuck it, I'll deal with that tomorrow. I won't draw tonight. Maybe I'll draw next week. I don't like to draw. Like, no, not at all. You see them fucking going to art classes, taking the time to better their craft. You know what I mean? It's not hard. You guys, like when I became an accountant, for instance, the identity that I had believed was that I was never an artist. In high school, the whole thing, I was creative at homework, but I didn't consider that being artistic. And so I never believed I could draw. I didn't even try because I was just like, I'm not an artist. And I put that in my mind. And then the moment I took my first painting class and realized how much I loved it, that's all of the sudden, I shifted my identity and I was like, you know what? I am an artist. And that doesn't mean that just because I said it in that moment, that all of a sudden I was like this fucking phenomenal artist or anything. Not at all. But what I did was I changed the belief I had about myself in order to be aware and open to receive the, in order to receive the steps that I needed to take in order to get to where I wanted to be. And so it was inspired action. It was my intuition basically like, all right, it was the universe basically being, all right, your belief is now that I am an artist and I am a damn good one, or I will be a damn good one. What did I do? I did anything that was possible to point me in the direction that would open more doors to get me more and more and more. And and it's funny because once I did that, I started taking the actionable steps. I took the time. You guys, you got to put your money where your mouth is. Like, nothing is easy. Nothing comes easy. I'm saying it's simple. It's just as simple as changing your identity, as shifting your mind and shifting your belief. Yeah, it's simple, but it's not easy. I'm not saying that you don't have to consciously take steps and consciously be aware of your thinking and your thoughts and the way you speak to yourself, and that's the affirmations. If you speak negatively to yourself, obviously more negativity is just going to, filter into your brain over the positive stuff. So for those of you that really, really are trying to be the best tattooers that you can be, to basically change the look of your Instagram, I'm telling you, you guys, the reason why I go through this route is not only to help you on the physical, external business side of your Instagram, building your Instagram into a profitable portfolio where people come and are like, man, I want to get tattooed by that person, and have someone follow you, and then also in turn that follower into a client. It's also to realize that the reflection, it's like looking in a mirror. You expect to see something different in the mirror, but you just see your face. You don't see someone different. So when I look at someone's like Instagram, for instance, you can tell if it's jumbled, if there's a jumble, there's a disorganization, or if they're just thrown up there and that kind of thing. I mean, it doesn't mean that you're a bad artist. It just means that the disorganization just means you're not quite sure of who you are. In all honesty, it just comes down to that core identity. Who are you? I think being your authentic self is the most powerful thing you could do for yourself. Because the moment you realize that your authentic you is the fucking tits, then you're going to realize that like everything that comes out of you just becomes, the process just becomes so known. It's almost like the step by step process of like, oh, I just need to do this. Oh, I just need to do that. Oh, I just need to do this. And then when you become that authentic self, it reflects outside of you. So when you see, badass artists online and you see their Instagram pages and you see the kind of tattoos they're putting out, it's because they identify with a badass tattoo artist. That's it. There's not even a thought in their brain. Now, I'm not saying that they don't always believe that they can get better. That's the point, is that we're always reaching for the ceiling. We're always trying to grow and to shift our identity to do more, because they didn't start off tattooing realism, Caravaggio painting portraits on people's backs. No, we all started from zero, you guys. Everyone starts the same way. It's just our paths are a little bit different. And so for you to understand something is that like the identity, to shift your identity, you need to shift your core beliefs, which can kind of be uncomfortable because you have to dig a little deeper inside of you in order to do that. And so it's like, which brings up like the important question is, how exactly is your identity formed? And how can you emphasize new aspects of your identity that serve you and gradually erase the pieces that hinder you? So this is what we have to do in order to shift our identity, because the things that no longer serves us, we need to get rid of. And we need to be honest with ourselves and take 100% responsibility of the fact that we chose this, which is not bad. It's not a bad thing. When people tell me that, they're like, oh, I'm working 9-to-5 job, and how do I, and I'm trying to tattoo at night, but I'm just not, it's not like going heavy enough for me or something like that, and then it's like it's almost a victimizing feeling. It's like, listen, you are in this position, and now this is actually a little bit further along than most. Some people are totally afraid of quitting their 9-to-5 jobs to become a tattoo artist or to chase to be an artist or something like that, and which is understandable, because your core belief is stability and safety, and that's okay. Stability and safety is okay, and that's your core belief. But that core belief could potentially be hindering you from reaching outside of your comfort zone and reaching your goals. And which I understand that, a lot of people do have children and other things that come up that they have to be mindful of. But at the same time, I can counter that with, there are mad examples, mad meaning a lot of examples out there that have had people with kids, single parents doing their, only one income household, being able to shift their identity and just realize that this is this way or no way. And so they chose one path and they became the person that they wanted to be in that moment, embodying that person that they wanted to be in that moment, and then acting as if they are that person. So how would a person that is a badass tattoo artist act? They would realize that they are a business. First off, let me tell you guys, let's realize one thing, that tattoo artists are a business. We are entrepreneurs. I call it tattoo-preneurs. We are tattoo-preneurs. We don't, you know what I mean? If you really want to shift your identity to become a well-known, well-renowned tattoo artist that travels all over the world and, gets to hang out with the greats, you know what I mean? You want to do that kind of stuff, you have to shift your identity and think like that person. And you know what that person thinks of? They believe that they are a business, that they are a brand, and they're selling themselves, not only their work, but themselves as well. And you have to shift that identity in order to create the life of your dreams. You have to shift your identity. So you have to remove the thoughts and beliefs that no longer serve you and repurpose that with new aspects of the identity that you want to embody to serve you. So, so I'm reading some of my notes here. It says, so your identity merges out of your habits. So anything that you're doing, your habits, you're not born with preset beliefs. Every belief, including the ones you have about yourself, is learned and conditioned. through experience, which I said. So the more you repeat a behavior, the more you reinforce the identity associated with that behavior. So what I'm saying is that, like, let's say, you know, as an artist or as an up and coming artist, what do I do? So if I draw a new drawing every day for 1 year, I have evidence that I am an artist. So I am an artist. So it's like an I am statement. I am this, then you are that. When people are like, I'm not athletic, well, then you're not going to be athletic. You're not even going to try. So it's like, I am an artist. Well, I'm an artist because I have the proof. I've drawn. I mean, I can show you right here. Boom shakalaka. That's Spider-Man right there that I still have not finished. But that's me being an artist. And that's one of hundreds and thousands of designs that I've created in the last 10 years that I have identified myself as an artist and no longer as an accountant. And so once I realized that that was my belief, the more habits you create for yourself in order to become the better artist, that better tattoopreneur, that better business person, the more you start to believe it and the more the habits start changing and everything around you starts kind of embodying it. That's why when people see I eat, sleep, drink, bleed, you know, tattoos or basketball or, you know, I don't know, golf or whatever you want to say, anything, athlete, whatever, you know, it's because of that. It's because then now I have shifted their identity to be that person. I wasn't born like this. You could say that all you want, but I didn't have some knack for art out of nowhere. I mean, I could see that I had some potential, and we all do. But it took hard work, and I believed in myself. Again, with, you know, I believe in the inevitability of my success. There we go. There's that sweet, sweet, repeated, oftentimes affirmation I love so much. Let's see. So your habits are the only actions that influence your identity, but by virtue, their frequency, they are usually the most important ones. So obviously your habits aren't the only things that you have to change, but it's like it's like the gradual evolution. That's what we need to realize. Like the moment I realize that I'm going to be someone that speaks about mindset development and mindset empowerment, I embody that coach inside of me. I embody that I am an empowerment coach. And the moment that I embodied that, all of a sudden my thoughts started revolving around, well, what should I talk about? What topics? Everything around me, even conversations I have now to this day, I'm constantly actively listening to people because they have things that they say that I'm like, wow, that either sparked an aha moment within me or it sparked a conversation that I was like, you know what? This is something I think people need to hear about. This is a subject where maybe I personally had a limiting belief or I had an epiphany or I was going through something. You know, everything is based on experience, and every decision I make and every reaction and action moment I take is all based on experience, you guys. So the moment I had embodied that I was an empowerment coach and that I am a life coach and that I am an educator for tattoo artists and artists everywhere and anybody that's wanting to listen, you know, really, it shifted, everything shifted around me. So to those of you, and I don't want to keep this like a super duper long podcast, but I just really wanted to touch on those that had basically asked me about, you know, as a up and coming artist, as an apprentice, like how do they better utilize their Instagram and that kind of thing. And I'm dead serious, you guys. It's all about authenticity at the end of the day, you know? So it's one of those things where, you know, you just got to embody what you want to be. You want to be a badass tattoo artist, then embody that. And then ask yourself, as a badass tattoo, what do I do now? Because the moment we start asking ourselves the right questions, you know, it's the quality of questions. It's, you know, the quality questions you ask yourself, you know, reflects in the quality of life. And so when you ask yourself quality questions, like, okay, at this point, I am a tattoo apprentice, but where do I want to be? Oh, I want to be a tattoo artist. I am a tattoo artist who travels the world, who gets to do whatever style that she wants to do, my specific style, who gets paid really well, who has awesome clients that keep coming back for more because they love my experience. And that all of that kind of comes into, and then I'm so aware. Then you become so aware of the things that you need to, what actionable steps you need to take in order to get to that person. So, you guys, if you're out there and you're looking to become a better artist or to better your art, how do you get more clients, via your Instagram, for instance? It's all about embodying and believing that you are a badass artist that needs to be seen, because you are. You are a badass artist that needs to be seen, that it needs to share your art with others. People want to see you. People want to get tattooed by you. People want your art. It's all about believing that too. You have to believe it. I believe it in myself. Some days, obviously, it's harder than others. I get canceled on all the time, and I'm like, and then I take it personal and that kind of thing. No, you guys got to realize we can't take it personal. We got to let it go, because none of that's going to matter anyway. I'm going to still believe that I am this way, that I identify with a strong-minded, strong and talented tattoo artist who also loves to help people by educating them in their business and in their mindset. I believe that in myself. I identify with that. That is my I am. I am those things. And when I identify with that, all of a sudden, everything becomes very aware to me of the actionable steps I need to take in order to achieve to achieve that greatness, to take that step towards that person, because I already believe I am there. It is already done. I have manifested that. That is in my life. I put it in my brain that that's who I am. I have taken actionable steps and changed a lot of habits and changed a lot of friendships. You guys, because at the end of the day, the things we need to do in order to become a person like this, they say, I forget, I was listening to actually a Manifestation Babe. She's a really, I love her. It's great podcast, great content, everything. She had mentioned, she goes, did you know that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with? Did you know that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with? So if you're spending a bunch of time with artists that don't want to move up in the world, which is totally fine. Some people really like the 9-to-5 turn and burn style of tattooing, where you're just doing small tattoos all day long. Makes good money. I get it. For me personally, I got burned out, and for me personally, I wanted to do something a little bit more creative and a little bit more unique that is to me. And I know that anybody that's listening to this podcast is feeling the same way, or you're trying to shift some sort of mindset here. So to those that are trying to do that, you got to surround yourself with like-minded people. Your vibe is your tribe. I say this all the time. That's the reason why whenever I tell people, you don't chase after clientele, you don't, do anything like that. You attract them. You attract them by being your authentic self. And how do you do that? Is because you have to choose and identify with who you are and who you want to be. I am a tattoo artist, a very talented, creative tattoo artist who loves to educate other tattoo artists and other artists on their business and on their mindset. That is who I am. I choose that. I identify with that, and I have shifted in many ways to become that. I have to tell you, if you guys ever meet Jackie, my apprentice, she will tell you she's seen the whole shift happen right before her eyes. Both my Colin Snyder, he's a resident artist that works for me, and Jackie, they both saw it. They both saw the shift that I needed to do, and they were like, holy crap, Reese is crazy. She is crazy, because sometimes I would go crazy. I would have almost mental breakdowns because my old self was fighting with my new self and trying to creep in. And so I had to remove that old self that no longer served me, removed my past, removed everything that I had believed about myself in order to shift into this new belief. And it's hard work. It's like getting an exorcism. You know what I mean? I had to exorcise my demons. So it's like, it's not going to be easy, you guys. It's not going to be easy. But if you want it, you'll shift it. You'll do the work and you'll shift. There are a couple of really amazing books out there that, kind of help with that. And one of them is You Are a Badass. I forget the author's name. She is amazing. Definitely mindset shift, powerhouse. I love that book. So if that's something that you are looking to do, that's a really fun, easy read to really get into an identity shift and really start believing in the person that you want to be. And so I think that's it for tonight, you guys. I'm doing this at night because I felt so inspired to do it at night and to get this podcast done for you. And I'm actually batch podcasting because I am leaving for Milan to go to a tattoo convention in Milan and to go work out there. And I don't want to miss a week, so I'm going to pre-record another week. But so that's why I'm doing one at night. But I hope that this was helpful for you guys because it is so important. In order to change your whole world, you have to change and you have to shift your identity. It has to come from within you. And the moment that you shift and you realize that you are what you say you are, and then you make those actionable steps in order to be that person, changing your tribe, changing your mindset, then the whole world is your oyster. All right, guys. Well, you guys have a good night. Thank you for listening. Please, please, please repost. I love hearing your guys' feedback and comments. You guys, your feedback literally makes my whole world go round. It literally lifts me up every time. And it's more evidence I receive the more I do this that I'm on the right path and that whomever, even if it's just one person that I'm helping, that's all that matters, and I'm fulfilling my purpose. So if you guys want to listen to more of my other podcasts, go ahead and you can go to Spotify, you can go to Apple Music, or you can go to my YouTube channel, and it's all under the Mind of Reese. Check it out, repost, tag me. I always repost everything. All right, guys, see you later.